The flurry of sanctions slapped on Russia are the hardest hitting that Moscow has ever faced. President Biden and several U.S. allies, including the EU, the UK, and Japan, have vowed to review further sanctions on Russia as punishment for its invasion. The Russian economy is already feeling the effects of the war, and the sanctions are making doing business in Russia nearly impossible. One of the harshest measures to date, removing Russian banks from SWIFT. That's the financial messaging service used to execute international transactions among banks. Banning Russian banks from SWIFT freezes their ability to transact with the rest of the world. Joining me now to discuss the financial fallout is Daniel Glaser, head of the jurisdictional services at K2 Integrity and former Assistant Secretary of the Treasury for Terrorist Financing. Thank you so much for being here and helping us understand it. It is a little bit complicated. So how long will it take for SWIFT sanctions and others to really kick in? And is it enough to stop Putin?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here. It's a real pleasure to be on with you. I think it's important to understand what SWIFT is. SWIFT is a messaging service that allows banks to communicate with each other. And if they can't communicate with each other, they can't complete transactions. So if a bank is not on SWIFT, it's very, very difficult, though not impossible, but very, very difficult for that bank to engage in normal international business practices. Certainly impossible to do normal international business practices. It's important to point out that only 7 Russian banks have been removed from SWIFT. And those banks already had, most of those banks already had sanctions against them already. So it does continue to be possible for Russia to many Russian banks, to participate in the international financial system. There's plenty of room for escalation from the United States and the European Union on even just the SWIFT measures. When you look at the suite of sanctions, for example, that Iran has against it, the Iran financial system, the Iranian financial system was much more cut off from the world than the Russian financial system is right now.
Well, let's talk about Iran. That's an interesting subject because Iran and Venezuela have tremendous oil reserves, right? Would you think that it might be possible or beneficial to relax the sanctions on those countries temporarily, at least, to decrease our dependence and the EU's dependence on Russian oil?
Well, the problem with sanctions is that you can't just sort of flip a switch and turn them on and then turn them off again and then turn them on again when you're happy. The international business community, the international economy relies on long-term contracts. They rely on the ability to have some sort of predictable level of business. One of the reasons why Iran never got the sanctions relief that it thought it was going to get in 2015 was that the international business community didn't feel, and it turns out rightly so, that Iran was going to remain unsanctioned for very long, and they were right about that, and so they never really went back in. So I don't think that you can just say let's lighten up on Iran, which by the way is trying to develop a nuclear weapons program for a few months and then until things and then we put them back in. I don't think it works like that. But I do think that there is plenty of ways that we could work with the international community, work with countries like Libya to bring them online for the Europeans to export more gas ourselves. There are ways that we could work with strategic reserves, work with the Europeans to make the pain bite a little bit less on ourselves and our allies.
Okay, so going back to Russia, does Russia have the ability to circumnavigate these sanctions?
To a certain extent, if Russia wants to make itself a vassal to China on Chinese terms, then China could supply certain things to Russia. But the fact of the matter is that enormous amounts of Russian energy are bought by Western Europe. The reserve currency in the world is the dollar, and that's not going anywhere. If Russia wants to maintain a standard of living, if Russia wants to maintain the value of the ruble, if Russia wants to continue to enjoy a lot of the benefits it gets from access to London, to Paris, to Frankfurt, to New York, it can't get all of that from China. Russia is not North Korea, who needs very little and goes to China for the very little it needs. Russia is a G20 economy with a population that has certain expectations with respect to its standard of living, and Russia needs access to the international financial system for that and the international economy for that.
Quickly, before I let you go, because this is a fascinating conversation, I have so many more questions for you, but how will we feel this here in the States?
Well, the price of this is there's going to be a cost to opposing Russian aggression in Ukraine. We've decided as NATO that we're not going to pay a military price for it, but we have decided as a community of Europe and the United States that we are willing to bear certain financial and economic costs. As you reported right before I came on, this is going to impact the price of gasoline. It is going to impact inflation. But that's going to be nothing compared to the catastrophic cost that this is imposing on Russia. This is going to ravage the Russian economy.
All right, Daniel Glaser, thank you so much. Fascinating conversation. We appreciate you being here tonight.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.